Good morning, everyone. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Or I should say, good afternoon, or good day, or good evening. Okay, good to see you, people. And I can see that you connected on Facebook. There's some people connected on YouTube and Twitch and Twitter. I highly encourage you to go to my YouTube channel. Okay, there is a reason for that, because, well, first of all, for those of you who don't know my YouTube channel, it's just like my last name, Grabovetsky. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Alexander Grabovetsky, and I'm wood carver. I'm pretty much digging wood with my chisels daily. Well, almost daily, because except my days of rest, I don't carve. But welcome, everyone. I highly encourage you, like my video before you forget. Give me some love. I really do appreciate, and I love you too. Please, like I said, if you connected me on different platforms, I highly encourage you to go to YouTube, because the quality of video is going to be much better. But let's start. Okay, today what I want to do, I want to actually just carve, because I'm a little behind, and I do apologize. You know, live streams, they taking time. Okay, it's actually pretty much taking almost half a day sometimes to check everything with the equipment, with the connections, and so on and so on. Good to see you, Salsa. Good to see you, Paul. Good to see you, Julie. Good to see you, everyone. Denise, добрый день. Randy, good to see you from Brooklyn. Wow. It was a kind of rough night yesterday in Brooklyn. Danny, hola, buenos dias. Well, actually, buenas tardes. It's Ecuador, I think. Buenas tardes. So wonderful people. Let me know where you're from. Michael, Ernie, Mohammed, salam alaikum. I said Salsa, bon dia. Who else I missed? Paul, good morning. Washington, wonderful, great. Danilo, good afternoon. Let me know where you're watching from, because like I said in my previous videos, there is a lot of people from all over the world pretty much watching. I really appreciate. Last time I did the live stream, it pumped me a little bit. Okay, it gave me some life juice, if you wish. You know, people like it, people watch it, and I really do appreciate. And you know, don't forget to like it today. So really important for me. Well, not only like it, love it also. Okay, love it, and also like it. All right, wonderful, great. So what I'm gonna do now? So I'm gonna jump pretty much on carving this piece. I'm gonna work on this section right here. Okay, it's. Let me explain again what I'm doing. Okay, so you saw in the previous videos. If you didn't see in the previous videos, just go ahead and watch. There's a big huge piece, okay, going upward. One of my cameras today decided not to work, and just because of that, I cannot you know, just to show what is going on, okay, in the upper part. But anyway, Ivan from Serbia, good morning. Bernie, good to see you. How's Canada today? So I guess it's supposed to be summer. It's June 1st, and it's supposed to be warm everywhere. At least I know it did not snow in the New York State for a couple weeks. So that is a good thing, I guess. But anyway, what I'm gonna do now, if you're okay with that, I'm gonna carve and I'll try to read some of the questions, and maybe while I'm carving, you're gonna come up with some questions, but I really need to work on that piece. You saw that, and I did not do a lot because I had to spend more time on different projects last week. So, but I need, especially next week I am gonna go to teach in person in Tampa School of Woodwork. And if you did not join yet to my class, I think it's still possible. Although I spoke with the owner of that school, and they trying to spread people as far as possible. They actually, they decided not to go the full class on purpose for the coronavirus and so on. Sergey, привет. Cozy, good morning. Julie, good morning. Well, yeah, it is good morning. Yes, it's still morning. I think it's 1 hour from LA. Is that Lower Alabama or Los Angeles? But anyway, so next week I'm gonna teach in Tampa in person. It's gonna be really interesting class. We're gonna do furniture style carving. I should say carving for furniture. It's going to be really low relief, so we're talking about maybe only about 1/16 of an inch deep carving, maybe about 1/8. We'll see. It's going to be also, it's going to depend on people. Okay, I know there's actually a couple people signed up, really high ranked woodworkers, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to teach them anything, but anyway, they joined, and I really do appreciate those guys who joined me. And good morning, or good day, good afternoon, you from Washington. Is it state or DC? If it's from Washington, good morning to you. Okay, good morning to you. People, I hope nothing spoiled your day. Okay, I know every morning when we wake up, we feel great until we know what is going on in the world. Please don't let anything steal your joy. All right, life is still going on. Of course, it's really sad what's going on outside of our windows. It's really beyond my understanding. But please, let's concentrate today just on carving, just on digging wood, on chisels, gouges, veiners, V-tools, and whatever the tools we're gonna do. Okay, wonderful. So let me carve. And from Washington State, then it's good morning to you. Okay, so you can see right here in this area, I still did not develop any details. I'm just working little by little, especially that is a slope area. What you see right here, it's already going up, that direction. And it's kind of tough area for me. I already filmed for my school. If you're part of my school, you should be able to see those videos I uploaded. And yes, most of the of this job is actually just on my site. But let me do it. Let me work on let's say on this piece. Okay, so I'm gonna just work a little bit on details if it is okay with you. But I need to find a pencil first, and that's always helpful, to find a pencil first and do something with that. Okay, so you can see the detail what I've done. The detail is actually going like a part of movement, and it's going downhill, 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 and it just wraps on inside and continues on the opposite side, just like this piece right here. Okay, so this piece. So what you see is just the wrapping, just like just wrapping. I don't know how better to explain that, but this one needs to be. Well, this pencil is just junk pencil, really cheap pencil. I should find something else. And yes, last week my sharpener broke, so I still have to use my pencils and go with the old way of sharpening. And when I'm saying old way, I'm just using normal knife, right? And just, well, although I don't want to put mess, you know, on my carving. Like I said, if you do have questions, go ahead and ask me. I'll try to catch on them, though for some reason I cannot read it, okay? Joe, good morning, good afternoon, actually. And the question is, hello Alex, Joe here in Orlando, Daytona Beach, will be attending your class in Tampa next week. Wonderful, Joe, you my friend now, okay? Well, by the way, people, it's really interesting. Now, when you watch me on YouTube or Facebook, and yes, I am your friend, and when I travel, I had a situation actually, like a couple times already, when I'm teaching in different schools, like let's say Mark Adams, and when I'm going to the class and greet people, and one of the guys said, Alex, it's me, and I said, well, that is good, and who are you? And he said, well, don't you recognize me? And I said, not really. And he said, oh, come on, I've been a member of your school for a few years already. And I said, that is wonderful news, but what's your name? And then he said, you know, the name, and I recognized by the name. Absolutely, I know people who joined my school, but people don't forget, you know my face, I don't know yours. So Joe, next time when I'm gonna greet you, so just to say, hey, I'm Joe, and I was on a live stream last time, and I am the guy. All right, wonderful, great. So one of the question, what is my opinion about to-buy tools? What is my opinion about to-buy tools? It's my opinion is actually to-buy tools is one of the most excellent, one of the best tools pretty much for wood carving, especially if you're working with lime wood, with the basswoods. To-buys, they do have a really excellent steel. And in my honest opinion, you know, it's about the same, I would say, as a pile. Okay, that is my honest opinion, and yes, I know those people, and like I said, the tools are excellent. Tools are excellent, and the pricing is actually really good for the quality they offer. So I believe they do have a little struggling time right now because of the virus and so on. You know, there's a school actually connected to the to-buy brand, wood carving school, and they had to close that school just because of the problem. Hello, Andrea from Italy. John, good morning. Good morning. For some reason, my computer doesn't show me all messages or chat right away. But anyway, so let me work a little bit and you'll see what I'm doing. Okay, so I'll just work a little bit on this piece right here. All right, so what I usually do, I make my divisions. I still can't see, sorry, wonderful people. I need to get a little bigger chat room, okay, for I can see it. That is good. Sorry. Okay, so let me get back. Well, when you see that on a camera, on a video, it always looks much easier than in real life. But you can imagine that is a slope. It's not just a flat. So I really limited how I can work with my piece. On one side I've got a bench, on another side I've got the main body of carving, and that is some of the limitations. So the only way I can work is just a little by little and just to remove small chips, just a little by little, and establish my form. Okay, I probably should also attack this part before I do some of this stuff, but I still did not work on a design yet. All right, I still have to kind of design a little better. Majid, hello, hello. Good morning, Dave. So, but the principle is easy. Of course, I could leave, you know, wrapping like this without the details, but I really would like to be authentic to the original design, to the original era, I would say, to the original Italian Venetian style. And the Venetian style is one of the most beautiful styles, especially, you know, when we're talking about Renaissance area and so on, and also other eras. But the uniqueness of the Italian style, see, that is going to be my future eye of acanthus. And yes, every acanthus supposed to have an eye. Well, you can't see that. I need to show that a little closer to you. Right here, that is going to be an eye. Okay, and the next portion of the acanthus movement gonna go right underneath this way, so which means I need to blend and take out this ridge. All right, so that's exactly what I'm gonna do. And I'm using spoon gouges right now, just because, like I said, limitation I'm facing. Okay. What your, well, Cozy is asking, what your Insta user answer, please? Okay, yes, absolutely, absolutely. So my social media, Instagram and Facebook is a woodcarver Grabovetsky. If you wanna follow me there, just go ahead and just follow woodcarver Grabovetsky. I hope I understood you correctly, and you asking about just Instagram. You asking about Instagram. Okay, and again, I'm just blending it. That is not the final form. Absolutely not the final form. I'm actually just preparing the surface for the next movements. And I'm gonna have a big separation in this area. I need to open up and create some kind of shadow. And the way I'm gonna do it, the way original wood carvers in Italy did. They used a lot of gouges. They used a lot of gouges. And I'm going to use the number 11. And in this case, it would be just a 5 millimeters, 3/16 of an inch. And I'm going to create preliminary cut without damaging this piece. That's going to be also developed a little later. I'm going to have a lot more separations and divisions, and that's going to be beautiful later on. Okay, so but I don't want to damage it, but I still want to create separation or subdivision, if you wish. I even don't know what's the proper word. I guess it is proper word, subdivision. Okay, let me carve it. And some of you wrote me even emails about my process of designing. Okay. Yes, I'm working on the authentic design. Authentic, I'm talking about, that's a true to Venetian period I'm working on. It's a 16th, 15th century, end of 15th century, beginning of the 16th century. But I still had to design myself, you know, all the movements and stuff like this, based pretty much on a craftsman in that particular town, in that particular time. I'm gonna have another big subdivision in this area, right? Richard, good morning. Mark, good morning. Quarter sawn basswood less fragile than a plain sawn on delicate carving pieces. Not necessarily. It actually prevents from movement, I would say. Quarter sawn always better. It's going to prevent from movement. For detailed carving or medium size or even huge size. It's always better quarter sawn or rift sawn, one of those two. As far as the small details, you have to understand that doesn't do anything. The small detail on a rift cut and the quarter sawn and the plain sawn is going to be exactly the same. Okay, it's going to be exactly the same. It does not add the hardness, if you wish, to the property of wood. It's still going to be soft wood. Okay, it's still going to be soft wood. The only way to prevent the problem is just to design the small details in a proper place in design. Okay, then it's gonna be okay. All right, hope it makes sense. And let me do that separation also. Same tool, that's what I'm gonna use, 5 millimeters. Again, see, when you look on a video, you don't really see the full picture. Okay, you really don't, because I do have a limitation. See, can you hear that? It's actually my main body of the carving, and I have to be really careful how I'm working. I actually don't even have a place to place my hand because see this part right at the top, so it's almost impossible for me to place it. So that's why sometimes my hands look awkward. That doesn't mean I don't know how to carve. It's just a really challenging area, which almost every carving has sometimes challenging areas. All right, so I've done preliminary cuts, preliminary separations. It's not the detailed yet. Now the next step, what I would have to do, if you look really closely, this area right here and that area right there, it's actually gonna be eyes of acanthus. Okay, and the pipe gonna go that way, and this pipe gonna go this way. I probably shouldn't put my marker on it, but it's okay. All right, and one of the things what was done in Italy in 15th, 16th century, that pipe is really exaggerated. Okay, so and I need to create that exaggeration. But again, the area is a little bit challenging for me. So what I have to do, it's going to be a concave. So the concave is going to be, let me use different color. So I'm going to go, that is going to be a concave cut. And going to go all the way right here. And the way I determine my concave position, and it's going to be also on another side also, there's going to be another concave cut. All right, and the way I determine my concave, if you look at the middle line, let me use different color for the middle line, and I'll try to explain the logic behind. Okay, so let's say if there's going to be a middle line right there somewhere. Okay, and please, people, remember, okay, those people, they are Italians. When they carved in 15th, 16th century, it was a big deal for those people, geometry. And I know what I'm talking about. They inherited that from Greeks, from, of course, it was Roman Empire before it became just, whatever the Italy we know, even 15th, 16th century. So it was a Roman Empire, and before Roman Empire, there was a, Greek Empire, and they were really big on dynamic symmetry, on golden ratio, and on all the mathematics involvement in wood carving and so on. It was a big difference between if you would go to Germany, let's say, or even in Britain, they also had some forms of art, expression of art, but it was absolutely different from Italy and Greece, absolutely different. So it's really important for those people, for those craftsmen, to understand the logic and the geometry they had to be really accurate to geometry of creation, if you wish, because in real creation there's a true geometry. We're talking about Fibonacci sequence, we're talking about the golden ratio, we're talking about roots and stuff like this, you know, dynamic rhythm and so on, and which I'm teaching actually a lot in live streams, not the live streams, in a live in person when I'm teaching design. But it's really important. And if you look at this piece, so if there's going to be a center line, I cannot place that center line right in the center. Okay, so I have to look, you know, this point right here, and I have to look at this point right there. If I'm going to divide that, okay, this line right here, so I have to get to the golden ratio, which you know, 1.68 and so on and so on. Okay, so it's I'm sorry, 1.60813 and to be more accurate. Okay, but there's a lot simpler way. If you divide that in 10 and count 6, there's going to be somewhere in the middle right here, and count 6 out of 10 parts, so that is going to be the golden ratio for the middle line. But when you're placing concaves, I also follow those geometry rule. So, but I'm taking this point and I'm taking that point, and you can see, if you look really carefully, and maybe I can show you a little farther, and you can catch that, or even closer. Let me see. Can you? I know it's a kind of weird position, but it's okay. But I also divide that in 10 parts, estimate about 6 parts, and there's going to be my center line for the concave cut. People, are you alive in a live chat? Are you there? Okay, give me some love. Okay, give me some love. All right, and if you do have questions, please ask me. Okay, but anyway, the same tool is what I'm going to use. Same tool, and I'm going to create my concave cut. I'm going to create my concave cut, and it's going to go all the way. With the number 11, of course, it's a veneer. The tool actually designed for this purpose. And I'm going to change the position and go this way also. 5 millimeters, that's what I'm using. Okay. Julie, thank you very much. At least one of you love me. That's going to be a second concave. And I have to change the position. Again, I'm working in kind of awkward position, but that's okay. And I'll go all the way that way. It's gonna be my second concave, and I can actually get a little deeper with that. And you know what, I think I should use a bigger tool. That's what I'm gonna do. I'll use 10 millimeters. And go all the way like that, okay? And the reason why I really need to use not 10 millimeters, because I really want to raise up this ridge. So it's supposed to be have like a concave, convex, concave, and then I'm gonna have another convex on this side. Use the same tool, just the side of it. And you already probably should be able to see how the pipe develops. Although it's kind of awkward on the camera, you're not going to be able to see. Frank, good to see you. Yes, I can't wait, you know, to meet you in person in Tampa. Really awkward place to work, but it's okay. Okay, so I've got the concave, and I've got the concave, although I could use bigger now, even you know, like maybe 15 millimeters, 5/8 of an inch, just give some more, you know, movement, more three-dimensional feel. Looks like last live stream about rasps and files and riffles or rifflers was a really successful one, and people kind of loved that you know, live stream. But I still find myself I don't use them a lot. I'm just doing that, you know, the old way, like I used to, just to get my cuts out of the gouge or out of the chisel really clean and nice, pretty much right away. Except I made made mistake in this area. I'm using just a back bend, maybe a little too big for this job, but it's okay. Why I'm saying that's too big, I just got a couple marks which I don't want to see, and I'm gonna grab the same tool and I love you too, thank you very much. Okay, oh, if you love me, don't forget to like the video below. Okay, so really makes my day, you know, when people like it. And I'm gonna clean a little bit this way too. Okay, hopefully you can see that. And the next what I'm gonna do, it's not the detail yet, okay? So I still have to work on details a little later, and maybe I'll be able to do it today yet. We'll see. But the next concaves I'm gonna do on this small section. Same idea. I mean, I need to work on that pipe and I need to exaggerate that pipe. But to exaggerate that pipe, I need those concaves. 5 millimeters, number 11. That is what I'm gonna use. Okay, veiner. I'm gonna start somewhere right there, and little by little. And the secret of this is sharpness of your tools. Okay, because sometimes you have to work against the grain and you kind of breaking your rules you're not supposed to break. But in reality, when you're doing a more complicated work, you really have to break your rules. I mean, rules of carving with the grain versus against the grain. Saying hello, hello. If you are on the Facebook, if you're watching me on the Facebook, please share that video with your group you belong to and so on. If you're not on the Facebook, you're still able to share it. You know, there's a below video a share, not the button, but I guess it is a button. You can just choose the platform you want to share it and share it. It also helps. Second one, and I really don't want to do a really deep concave right here. I have to be really mindful and kind of blend in and blend in, and little by little blend that convex. So that is going to be a convex part. Okay, Mark is asking, how thick are you leaving curved leaves with the deep excavation underneath to keep it from breaking off? Let me understand what you are asking. Let me try to understand. So what you're talking about, and if I understood you correctly, so you are asking about the thickness of those pieces, okay? It is probably depending, and it also depends on the job, all right, and on, you know, on the purpose of particular carving. Let's say if it's going to be, if it would be for furniture, I would definitely leave it a lot much thicker, okay, because it's going to be practical use pretty much daily, and it doesn't make sense to excavate extremely. Okay, so there is going to be a, for the furniture, I would leave at least 10 millimeters. Well, actually, right now it's about 10 millimeters, about 3/8 of an inch. That's what I've got. Okay, but if it's going to be a decorative piece, if you know some of my work, like flowers and so on, like Grill & Gibbons style wood carving, I don't leave too much because I know it's not going to be used daily. It's going to be installed somewhere as a decoration, if you wish, in a house. And I can go really extremely in those cases, really extremely. And sometimes it's like a paper thin. Okay, if you want to see more what I've done previously, you can go on a Facebook on my page and just check those pictures, okay, and examine them really like a closer, and you will see, you know, I use the extreme, you know, thinness, I would say. I'm not sure if say that way. It's like a paper thin. You can see almost through, and some spots you can detect I actually cut through, and I try to cover up myself and say, you know, it was on purpose, but thin on those leaves, and you know, I just got a little too extreme, I guess, too extreme, and I got them through. But anyway, see what I've done? Exactly the same idea. Concave, convex, concave. Okay. And this part, you can see that part is an eye of acanthus, and this part of acanthus going underneath, just right underneath. I'm not sure if you're able to even see that. I don't think so, because it's kind of you know, off camera. The camera is positioned a little off, and I can't preposition it. But just trust me, just trust me. Okay, and I'm gonna excavate a little deeper my eye, not my eye, but eye of acanthus. I'll use number 11 again. Number 11 again. And next, what I have to do, create some kind of roundness. You know, just make this pipe more roundy. Not sure I can say that or not. But I'll use back bend for this purpose, because it's almost impossible to use for me right now straight tools in this position. Right? Almost impossible. By the way, if you're not a member of my school, that's a bad idea. I'm talking about not being a member of my school. Idea to be a member, it's a good idea. Not to be a member of my school is not a good idea. Why is it a good idea? Because if you are a member, you will see the full development of even this piece and in other projects step by step without any editing. Pretty much I'm not cutting out too much and all. Pretty much you are like 100% watching in the whole process. Okay, see this stuff what I've got left right here, so I need to clean it, and I will clean it with the 3mm number 11, I would say. Get that stuff out. Just watch and relax. Looks like today there's no questions. Not too many questions, at least. Let me ask you, if you watched my last stream, so the subject was about rasps and files. And are you using rasps and files in your carving, or you just like to just carve clean, like out of the gouge, out of the chisel? So let me know, please. I still can't get used to rasps. Yes, I've got the rasps. I, just spend a lot of money on them, but I still can't, every time I'm grabbing, if I'm grabbing them, I feel really guilty about it. And for me, it feels like I'm spending a lot more time. Okay, voice over reason. I think you missed my question from earlier. Let me see. Oh, yes, I did miss. I'm sorry. What are some common mistakes that people make when starting wood carving? That is actually an excellent question. Wonderful question. Okay, what's the common mistakes? Okay. The common mistake when people starting carving wood is actually not understanding the property of wood itself, the grain, and how you're supposed to use your carving tools according to the grain whenever you can. It's the common mistake. Okay, so just not understanding the grain. I would really recommend to study. And also one of the mistakes, what I know, people who would love to get in wood carving and they don't know where to begin, they have to study what wood they're supposed to use for wood carving, because yes, it is possible to carve almost every wood. Even the hardest of the hardest woods, it's still possible, to use those woods. But there's a better wood for wood carving, and there's some really bad wood for wood carving. Let's say if you're gonna compare basswood, what I'm carving right now, it looks almost like a maple or birch, as far as the color, as far as the grain goes, and so on. Okay, so that looks the same but carves differently and finishes differently. I don't like to carve maple. Okay, I don't, unless if I have to, let's say like on musical instruments, like on a guitar or violin. Sometimes, well, not violin, not as much, but guitars, they really like some carved elements, really low relief, and they're using lots of times, tiger maple, and it finishes really beautifully, that tiger maple. On the musical instruments, it's okay, but for the project like this, I would prefer basswood. And the beginner, especially if you are never carved, let's say, and you want to get to wood carving, it is always better to use the proper wood, which in my case it's bass wood, and I'm on no way beginner. I'm carving pretty much all my life, but I still use this wood whenever I could. It's called by Green Gibbons, the famous wood carver. He called that wood as a queen of all trees. You can shape it beautifully. You can carve it much more easier than any other, species of wood. Let me read some questions. I think I missed some. Okay, let me see. Frank is saying, I prefer clean of gouge, but use rasp for carved cabriole legs. Absolutely. Okay. Jose is saying, I want to learn to carve with just gouges. Ernie is saying, I use whatever is easier at the moment. Even CNC. Wow, I know. But you love knives. Knives always the best. All right. Chloe, I use walnut for building guitars. That's beautiful wood, absolutely. Absolutely. Let me get back to my carving. Yes, well, again, I guess it's what you saying, Frank, as far as clean out of a gouge. It has, a certain character, okay? It's like a one in a world piece. It just gives that crispness, just out of the gouge. And people, when they're using rasps, most of the time they actually think they're saving time, okay, by using rasps. But I found, I already mentioned that last time, maybe some of you did not watch it yet, the last video, that I found myself it actually takes a lot longer for me to use rasps. I never used them before, and I just bought them this year. And the reason why I bought them, because my school and people asking me that question, why don't you use rasps? And I decided to use them. I mean, to try them, okay, I should say. I still have a different feeling about it, okay? It's like, am I saying it's wrong to use rasp? I don't think it's wrong to use rasp at all, okay? Is that authentic to the wood carving? Absolutely it is, absolutely. And one of the comments actually in the last video I really loved, one of the guys said, if Green Gibbons would have modern tools today, he didn't word exactly like I'm saying right now, but if Green Gibbons would have modern tools, he would use them, okay? He would use whatever, is available, I should say. It's still authentic. I think it's still authentic. Still authentic. So what you're asking, show some stool items. What do you mean stool items? I'm not quite understanding. Tool items? So this one would be a back bend, and that in this case would be number 5 back bend, sweep number 5, 6 millimeters, 1/4 inch. Okay, and I'm just going underneath and creating convex, which you don't really see, but there is a convex underneath. And I really love, back bends. I can really get my undercuts really showing up beautifully. Essentially what it does, it creates like a dome on the inside of, like right there, okay? Let me clean a little bit the edge. Right. And I need to get little nicer design on that. I'm gonna pull my knife. Let's see. Sasa wrote something in Arabic, and I have no idea Arabic or Farsi. I mean, it's I think it's the same alphabet, but if you could translate it in a Google Translate and comment again, then I will understand. I hope you wrote something good. If you wrote something bad, just delete that. All right. Let me use number 5¼ inch and kind of refine this movement. 6 millimeters. Number 5. But in this case, it is by Ashley Isles, and the Ashley Isles, it's a more professional tools. They don't mark it and all, except just the number 5 right here. I'm not sure you'll be able to catch that. I doubt you're able to catch that. Yeah, right there. See, it's just number 5. Voice over. Do many carvers grow their own basswood trees? That is actually really interesting question. If you do have a like mountain with the trees, you could probably. I live in Florida, okay, and there's a lot of palm trees in Florida, and a lots of ocean, okay, a lot of water. And I can't grow my own basswood tree. Besides, there's no purpose of growing it. It takes too long to get really good, really good tree and get that ready for wood carving. Just takes really long time. It's better to buy, whatever already, harvested and dried. Doesn't matter what kind of drying method is used. I prefer air drying method. It's just the hulls form a lot better, I found. But even a kiln dry, it's also good. So I don't know if any of the carvers actually grow the basswood. Even if they live in the countryside, they would probably prefer to grow apple tree and eat, some fruit tree than basswood. Basswood is better to buy. But although I should say some of the people actually they do have a walnut on the properties in the northern states, even here in the United States. I do have one of the students on my site, not on that site, he actually also takes classes pretty much almost every year, and he does have a walnut trees on his property, and sometimes, as I understand, he is actually using his own wood, but again, I mean, he has to dry it first. I would highly recommend not to use green wood. It's just too much movement. Just too much movement. It's not going to be really good. Jose is saying, I wish I could grow my own basswood, but plenty of mesquite and hackberry in my area. Oh yeah, absolutely. And again, I don't think it's practical. I don't think it's practical. For example, when I buy my basswood, I had just an email a couple days ago. One of the guys actually asked me. He went to the store in Michigan, and there's also another store same like that, the Johnson Workbench, and he made a picture and sent to me asking, is it a good price or not? Okay, for the basswood in that store, and it all depends. Okay, I'm buying by the truckload. Semi truck comes to me, and then I unload my wood, and then I wait for a long time. and it's drying, okay, until I use it, and I pay a lot less than what the price tag was on that picture. But if you buy it for just a small project, for, you know, even little, like medium project, yeah, I mean, you could buy just in a store and it's already dry, and I doubt it's air dried. I mean, also another question, people asking where to buy, you know, air dried basswood. I don't really think anybody would sell it anymore right now. I used to buy in Indiana from Amish people, but it was over 20 years ago. You know, those Amish people, they had some air dry product. Not anymore, I doubt. Even those Amish people, they also business people, and they do understand it takes space and nobody's drying anymore for 10 years or so. And you cannot charge a lot more for the, you know, air dried product versus kiln dried. So it's impossible to buy. And again, like I said, I don't think it's practical to grow your own, you know, basswood or linden wood, whatever you prefer to call it, lime wood, lipa. I don't think it's practical. Okay. If you like what you see right now, don't forget to like my video, okay? Like I said, I'm just continue to work and carve. And I'm glad actually people got back to work. It's a really good thing. It was a really hard time for a lot of people in the world, pretty much, with that pandemic going on. And some places still people can't go back to work. And the rate how many people lost their jobs also just so tremendous. I'm not talking about only United States, I'm talking about worldwide. Hope it's gonna be recovered and people not gonna struggle financially. It's always not a good thing. Always not a good thing. All right, another question. Do Amish people do wood carving? I admire the Amish, very traditional people. I used to live in Indiana, northern Indiana, Michiana area, around South Bend and so on. If you know a little bit about Notre Dame University, it's around that area. But I used to live in Goshen, which is more countryside. It's a little east of South Bend, Elkhart area, and Goshen, Indiana. It's Amish, I mean, surrounded Amish everywhere. And Mennonites also, Mennonites and Amish. And there's different orders of Amish and different orders of Mennonites. Okay, and yes, they do some woodworking. They do some furniture, they do other types of woodworking. Lots of them, they do just carpentry, like just framing, finish carpentry, lots of them, okay? And I've done some business with them, and I've done actually like a lot of business with those people, a lot, okay? And let me tell you the truth, the truth about Amish people, all right? Amish people, just people. That's the secret, okay? There's some bad ones, there's some good ones, okay? There's some good craftsmen, there's some bad craftsmen, okay? There's some furniture makers, there's some people who don't know how to work with wood. Absolutely, it's just Amish people. It's not special sort of a people. Yes, they do have a background, a lot more probably in woodworking than other groups. If you divide people by groups, but it's just because they did not send, I mean, even now they don't send children to colleges, and they don't get other professions, and they usually get in either in farming For example, I was doing business with one of a really good guy, really excellent guy. His name is Daniel, and I really admire him. He had a business right on his backyard. Of course, he had a farmland, and he had a woodworking business. Okay, we've done business for like 9 years with this guy. Excellent family, excellent. He had like 12 children and so on. And I was friend of a family, and he invited me to his house multiple times and so on. But he tried to send his son to work with me, to learn from me. Okay, so please, people, understand, if Amish people even doing woodworking, it's just people. And I saw some really bad quality, and I saw some really good quality. Okay, but I never saw any Amish did really good wood carving, and there's a reason. You have to understand the Amish mentality, theology, if you wish. Okay, so what's the background of Amish people? Those people, Anabaptists, okay, Anabaptists who escaped persecution in Europe, and when they came to United States, they used to be the group of Protestants, pretty much one of the first groups of the Protestants, actually, who established, living in the United States. But you have to understand mentality. A lot of Amish people, they came from Germanic lands. I cannot say it's German land, because it's not really true German land, because Amish people in Europe, if you know a little bit of history of Mennonite movement, Anabaptist movement, they used to live in Sweden, they used to live in Germany, they used to live in Holland. There's a lot of people, and even German people nowadays, they speak different German language. Plattdeutsch, there's a Hochdeutsch, there's different language. And Amish people, they speak, Pennsylvania Dutch, which is a form of a German, which is right now, it's pretty much developed on its own in the United States, okay? By the way, I do understand few words in Amish, okay, because I spent time with them. But mentality, the idea, think back, few centuries back, okay? In Germany even, 15th century Reformation, Martin Luther, nothing to do with Amish people, nothing to do with Mennonite people, but roots of Protestant movement, okay? They were anti, especially in Germany, anti-imagery in the churches, and they actually did a lot of damage in Germany in 15th century. I do have a book from Oxford University about wood carvers in 15th century. They were really persecuted, and before Reformation, those carvers, they made living by carving for churches, including one of the most famous wood carvers, Riemenschneider, okay, Tilman Riemenschneider. But the problem was the common people, they took that idea extremely, and they went to churches and they burned down pretty much all of the whatever was artistic expression of beliefs. Don't ask me, please, what I believe and what I don't believe. But I'm just trying to explain the mentality of those people. And of course, it's not the Germany where they escaped, but other parts where, other groups actually persecuted those Mennonites, Mennonite groups, Anabaptists, and they escaped to the United States. Not all of them. There's still people actually living, in Europe, Amish tradition and so on. The guy was actually, the founder was Amos, okay, and he was a Mennonite, and then they split, and they got, to extreme beliefs and so on. But the main idea in one word: simple and plain. Simple and plain. Okay, so just that idea eliminates the idea of ornating furniture. Amish furniture, Mennonite furniture, it's a simple lines and really plain surfaces, Okay, simple lines, straight lines, and plain surfaces. More simple it is, better it is. So no fancy stuff. So that is why, to answer your question about Amish people, they do not carve. Okay, they don't ornate to the extreme. Yes, I mean, you can see on some of them, like, hearts scrolled out, and some flowers scrolled out, but not carving. Okay, wonderful people, but they developed a different mindset toward artistic expression. Okay. Yes, they some of Amish people, like Chloe saying, they are good woodworkers, really high quality, and some of Amish people, they really bad workers, and they have a bad quality, and they don't use even when they building, some of them, they don't use levels, and that's the problem. Oh, by the way, let me tell you a story before too late. I was invited in the home of one of the Amish people, and it was really strangely looking one. Okay, that's just the house. When I walked in, there was a step up, then I went to one room, and then steps down, and then there's another room, and in levels like this. Okay, all over. And he proudly said to me, I don't use any blueprints. Okay, see my house? When I built my house, I didn't use any blueprints. Who needs that? Okay, who needs that? Whatever you can express, just build on and build on and build on. Look how beautiful my house is. Okay, and in my estimation, it was not beautiful because I was studying some architectural design. In my mind, it was just like a monkey house, But of course, I'm not judging. But I don't, what other people call quality, I'm not necessarily agree with that. Okay, so, but if they happy, if it makes people happy, I'm okay with that too. Okay, good. Let me see. Okay, thank you very much, wonderful people. Don't forget to like my video. Okay, don't forget to like my video. I think it's ad for today. It's already been an hour. I hope it was good video. Please, if you not subscribed yet, consider subscribing and hit that bell notification. Really important. And when you're gonna hit that, make sure you get all the notifications. Otherwise, you're gonna miss it. Okay. All right. So wonderful people. If you do have questions, please comment below the video. That way, I'll be able to read that later and address in the future times. Okay. Have a wonderful and blessed day. Stay safe. Doesn't matter what is going on outside. Just keep peace inside of you. It's a lot more important what is inside of your heart than what is going on outside. Have a good one. Okay. Thank you very much, Sergio. Good to see you, Sergio. Come on, I didn't see you before. So you just trying to hide from me. By the way, I checked those rasps today. Looks like they've got really good forms. It's a unique, and for people who don't understand, the last video was about rasps and files and rifflers. So check that video previously and go to the comments, and Sergio placed a really good link to another French company. I guess when I researched that, it's a kind of small company, but they also do by hand. Okay. Thank you very much, people. Thank you. Have a wonderful and blessed day.